Welcome to I Love My Husband, but we got into a fight. It happens, doesn't it?
Sue us, bitches.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't sue us. The frequency of these videos may seem like we're getting into fights all the time, but I really want you guys to think about like how often you and your significant other bicker. Like, it is totally normal. People shouldn't think like their walls are crumbling down because they get into a little fight, because they should just know that everybody gets into these kinds of things. So this one was about basically us being on the same team in my eyes. Like us being on the same team in terms of being parents. So I had to go to work on a Saturday and Timmy was going to be taking Sonny to the park. So Timmy was on Sonny duty. He was getting ready and Sonny started to have like a little bit of a meltdown. Timmy started to get like a little bit, in my eyes, like angsty, like he wanted to get out the door. He wanted this tantrum to go away, like he just wanted to be over. However, I knew that Sonny hadn't eaten anything yet.
But what she missed was Sonny had 2 different smoothies. Whitney thought that he was hungry and maybe food would calm him down, when I knew it wouldn't.
I started like making him something to eat and I started offering it to him, and then I started packing a bag of like a lot of snacks for Timmy to bring with them to the park, and I knew they were meeting friends, so I wanted to make sure that if Sonny had something, that the friends also had something as well. And Timmy specifically said to me, like, please don't make a heavy bag. Like, I don't want to carry a lot of stuff. And I think he said it really quick and kind of like moody because he wanted to just get out the door. But in my eyes, I was like, I'm just trying to help. Like, I can tell Sonny's hungry. I don't want him to be hungry at the park.
She packed 3 chocolate milks, 3 mini muffins in a big glass container, an open bowl of cheesy toast cut into pieces, blueberries, and then a bucket with a shovel, a big shovel, and diapers and wipes. It was hot. Chocolate milk was probably the last thing he wanted to drink, but he had 1 chocolate milk. Nothing else was touched. But I wasn't even annoyed by that. I was annoyed. I was a little extra annoyed because Sonny was freaking out and tensions were running high, but I really do understand that Whitney wants to have snacks and I can't begrudge her for wanting to feed our child. So Sonny's having a freak out. I just want him to get it out. I've tried to do some things and it didn't work, and it just seemed to me to be time to let him have his freak out.
I think I asked him, Sonny, a question like, can I get you something? Do you want some toast? And Timmy kind of snapped at me like, let's not talk to him, let's just leave him. Like, we don't want to engage, like let him just have this moment. And to me, it felt like he was sort of barking orders at me.
I asked, I really don't think I demanded. Like, I'm trying to be very conscious, especially in a parenting situation where I don't know if I know all the answers, but I have like an idea of the way I want things to go, to be like, hey Whitney, like, do you think it would be okay if we just let him have his freak out and we stop doing stuff? But I think you heard it as a like, no, do this.
I basically like backed down.
Then Whitney tried to like keep giving him more stuff after I asked if we could not, and then I got annoyed. Like, I remember like Sonny had like a pen in his hand and was like writing on the wall, and like I snatched it out of his hand and picked him up. Took
him out to the car and left. I could tell kind of like in a bad mood.
Because I knew once we got out of there and once we got into the park, everything between him and I would be fine.
I was upset and couldn't really let it go. And I was texting him while he was at the park, like, is everything okay?
And I say, yep, all good, just at the park. Sonny has more energy than any child ever.
Sonny's a wild child, he's running around everywhere, but I couldn't really let it go. And so I said something to him.
She says, haha, hope you're having fun. I said, thanks babe, how's the thing? She said, leaving for it soon, eating the leftover chicken parm, I hope that's okay. Even that's sort of annoying, I hope that's okay. Like, I know that that's a polite thing to say, but of course it's okay. Like, it's food. Like I'm some kind of monster who's gonna be like, that's not okay that you ate my leftover chicken parm. Unless it was like really special chicken parm. I said, yes, of course. It's so hot.
And I said, I know I forgot sunscreen for him.
Again, it's like, stop, I forgot it too. In my mind, like, she was doing this thing where she apologizes for something she knows she doesn't have to apologize, to put herself in the victim position, to put me in like the bad guy position. And like, it's something that happens often, and it triggered me. Like, now I was heated and upset. I say, it's okay, I'm gonna get him out of here soon, and I forgot it too. It's not all your fault. You don't have to say sorry either. It's all good, exclamation point. Still trying to keep it light.
And I said, yeah, I guess it just goes back to me being insecure that I'm not doing things the way you want them done.
I didn't want you to do anything. I didn't think once about you not picking the sunscreen. I don't think you're responsible for everything. None of that crossed my mind. It's not a big deal. Forgetting the sunscreen doesn't have to turn into this victim situation where I'm the monster for wanting you to do things my way.
And I said, right, I know I wasn't wrong about the sunscreen. I was more coming from a place of insecurity when I was trying to help and make and pack food because I knew he was likely losing it because he hadn't eaten. I just want to feel like we are on a team because we may see different things that need attention.
So this bothered me too because, like, okay, so the sunscreen wasn't what she was upset about, like, and I'm supposed to sift through, like, the real truth that is there, that she was upset about how I handled the situation getting ready. To throw out that, like, she doesn't feel like we're on a team, I think is overstating it because we're such a strong team and we do everything together. It just seemed dramatic and it was upsetting. I said, I think we're a team, do you not? I don't want to bring a big bag of stuff because he rarely, in my experience, eats it, and carrying that bag makes it harder to pick him up when it's time to leave. But I completely understand you wanting to have snacks.
I said, I think we are. This morning I just felt like it was you micromanaging me a little, but I understand that you're the one that was going to be dealing with him and lugging the stuff. It's okay, this does not have to turn into a thing at all. I just wanted to share how I was feeling and why I then got insecure about the sunscreen. You said, I appreciate that. Can I reply to being accused of micromanaging? I said, of course. You said, I don't think I deserve to be accused of that.
And then I remember just, like, leaving that there, and, like, I remember thinking she must be reading this and, like, wondering how to reply because I didn't give her a lot to work with there. But by this time I was, like, driving home and I just couldn't be as expressive on text as I wanted.
I said, okay, I believe you were doing it a little. It's not an all-out accusation of you as a person. I just noticed you trying to control the situation and quickly picked him up, told me not to ask him if he wanted to take Toy to the park or take the pen or take a lot of things/snacks, things I thought would help the situation a little while still letting him calm himself down.
I said, I think there's a big difference between micromanaging, which means getting yourself too concerned in the small details and having a different way of wanting certain things done. I don't want to bring all those toys and snacks to the park, but I didn't say anything about it.
I knew you did, and that was enough for me, so I kept my mouth shut. I was trying to get him ready to go, and he was having a freak out, asking for chickens, and then when I gave them to him, throwing them away and crying. You came in, rightfully tried to offer him some things, but it wasn't working, so I asked if we could just let him get it out of his system. I think it is okay for me to ask that without then suffering this punishment and being called a micromanager. And I said, okay, I understand where you are coming from, and I am sorry for calling you that. And you said, okay, I don't want to fight with you at all, and I'm not even mad. But when you say sorry like that, this is the story that I am telling myself. Whitney thinks I am mad about something I'm not mad about, or thinks I think something is her fault that I don't think is her fault, and so she is saying sorry, which turns me into the bad guy, when that had no need for an apology at all.
And if you say it was really about something else, then let's discuss something else. But saying sorry for something you know wasn't your fault because you're really insecure about another situation is hard for me to deal with because it means I have to read your mind and not what you are saying.
And then I said, I am just sitting down to this chat. I am so sorry. I'll call you after. I remember, like, looking at the dots, the bubbles, like waiting to get the response. And I was also just stressing out because I was about to walk in to hear this, like, presidential nominee's wife speak, and I didn't want you to think that me not responding in a certain time meant that I was mad at you or like me playing some sort of game.
Never once in my mind did I think, like, this fight was more important than what she was doing. And I really didn't want to fight either, so I wrote back, it's really all good, I'm not mad, enjoy the talk, and I'll speak to you after. Don't freak out, no freak out required, hashtag. I should have wrote hashtag no freak out required. Like, I'm just trying to joke, get things to be light again.
And I said, okay, good, I'm not mad either, we will talk after, love you. And then that was really the end of the whole thing.
We had, like, sort of a miscommunication in a tense situation, and that shit is gonna happen.
I got home and I said, do you want to talk about it, or are we cool? And you were like, yeah, I think we're fine. And I was like, I'm fine, you're fine. And we just kind of let it go.
it seemed best just to leave it where it was. And even as we're talking about it now, we still disagree on the facts, but my blood is not boiling at all.
I thought that fighting over text was really productive, and I thought the way we were speaking to each other was really respectful. Like, you guys heard that. We don't name call, we weren't accusing. I think we were trying to be understanding of where the other person was coming from. Sometimes in the heat of the moment, especially when your kid is having a freak out, you fight about things that aren't worthy of fighting about because your tensions are running so high. And so I think because we allowed space and time between us, we kind of quickly were able to just rebound and get over it. I think the gist of it for me was more just his general attitude towards me when I was trying to help, which I think was just stemming from his frustration that Sonny was having a freak out. And that's what I think that I need to constantly remember.
What do you think is the resolution
to this issue? I agree with you that when Sonny is having a tantrum that we should leave him to just have it. I think I'm still learning that. I'm still learning how to deal with the tantrums and how to fight back my natural tendency to just want to give him what he wants when he's freaking out, when in actuality nothing is going to calm him down except for himself.
And I just think in general, when we have a difference of strategy in parenting, to always leave the door open, that even though we think our way might be the best way, that it also there might be another way.
Yeah, and it's not even so much about trying to be right or wrong either. It's about, like you said, not always thinking about different solutions or different reasons why something is happening. We each see different things. It's respecting what each other sees.
Are you thinking about leaving me?
No, my palms are just so sweaty.
Oh, okay. Tune in next time to see if we're still married. Peace in the streets.
Peace in the streets.